Yeah, I do actually. Ben did a lot of good things here. It didn't end well, right? Just like marriages and all kinds of other things don't end well, right? But Ben did a lot of good things here, and so it's funny. I don't know if we are or not, but if we did, I'd have no issues with it.
Ben Simmons tribute video in Philly?
That is an utterly ridiculous comment by Doc Rivers. And you know I love me some Doc Rivers. That is utterly ridiculous. There is no way in hell there's going to be a tribute video to Ben Simmons. Not unless you're doing it to mess with his head and to really heckle him. Because if there's anything that will inspire the crowd in Philadelphia to go off, that would be it.
Why don't we do a tribute for Doc about all the times he's blown 3-1 leads in the NBA playoffs?
That's cruel. That's
cruel. That's very
You
got to be fair.
That's very cruel.
I hope he was kidding. I mean, a tribute for Ben Simmons. There's too much of this Ring of Honor nonsense and Hall of Fame. Everybody gets an all. There's too much of that, but he has to be kidding. Is he kidding?
He's got to be kidding.
Has to be.
He's got to be kidding.
Please.
He better be kidding.
Oh, my God.
He better be kidding.
I'm surprised actually Simmons is showing up tonight on the bench.
I got to be. And you know what? I still got to believe it. I got to see it to believe it. I still don't believe he's going to be there tomorrow night.
I give him credit if he is.
I still don't believe it.
Oh, he's going to be there.
To sit on the bench.
Yeah, and I think they might do a tribute video. 5 years there?
I'm telling you right now. You talk about a bad moment for Ben Simmons. They do a tribute video for Ben Simmons in Philadelphia.
Oh, they're going to throw him out. They're going to go nuts. They're going to throw him out of the building.
The game might be delayed because of what they throwing on the court. I like Ben Simmons. I want to see him play. But Philadelphia and the way they feel about him, oh, Lord.
I love Doc, but that's a rough one. Hopefully he's joking. And by the way, we got 20 seconds?
Yeah.
Let's hope they get baseball done for Jackie Robinson Day on April 15th.
Yeah.
That will be a disaster.
Yes.
You all scream about that forever.
That's right.
Yes.
And rightfully so.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
They better get it right.
Are you going to go to Philly?
I think I'm going to go to Philly tomorrow night.
Gotta go to Philly.
I think I'm going to show up tomorrow night.
I need to know what the feeling is in the building. You need to bring Veruso, do you agree that Harden is playing with house money?
Absolutely not. I like the trade. I think that he's much better for that team than Simmons is because Simmons can't throw the ball in the ocean off a boat. Mm-hmm. So I understand that. And he can't make free throws, and you can't put him in there in the fourth quarter. And Harden, you can certainly do that. But Harden is playing he's playing for something else. This is a guy who's played in one final, and he was bad off the bench for Oklahoma City. And we have a litany of games. Should I go through the Golden State Game 7 a few years ago when he hoisted up 13 threes and made 2 of them? It was awful. How about San Antonio in games in that series against the Spurs when he was off? Oh, my God. Yeah. Or when he got mauled when McHale coached the Rockets when they got killed by Golden State. Should I go through some of these spots for him in the big – last year we give him a break. He had a bad hamstring. So last year we give him a break. But should I go through some of these spots in the big game where you evaluate a guy of his level? That's when I'm going to – I don't care what he does in a regular season. Let him score his 40 points. Let him take his 30 shots. Let him and Embiid have all the fun they want. Let Embiid run the court, dunk the ball, blah, blah, blah. I'm okay, fine. You know what I'm going to find out about Harden? When he's playing in a spot where it determines if he plays in a final. Let me see when he plays in Milwaukee in a Game 5 in a big spot or a Game 6, elimination game. Let me see him play if Irving plays when he's Durant's in the mix. Let me see him respond in those situations. And if he ever gets to a final, which he hasn't done theoretically, let me see him go out there and win a championship. That's the report card for Harden. The report card for Harden, in my eyes, is not about, well, is he better than Simmons? Of course he's better than Simmons. In the NBA, in the fourth quarter in playoff games, you got to score. Mm-hmm. And Simmons can't score. Right. You can't be a great player if they put you on the bench with 6 minutes to go because you can't make a free throw. Right. And you can't shoot a three. I mean, it's about putting the ball in the basket. Harden's going to have to do that with the season on the line consistently, something he's never done. That's his report.
Doesn't have to do it. And see, here's the thing. You're thinking about it from a macro perspective. But I'm here to reel you in, doggy, and get to the micro perspective. Is Harden playing with house money in Philly? In Philly is the operative words there. And that's where I got that from. I'm not trying to act like the man is devoid of pressure, that he doesn't have something to prove, that all of the things you just articulated eloquently, I might add, is not on point. Because I remember San Antonio and you taking 2 shots in the first 16 minutes. I remember the 2 for 13 shooting performance from 3-point range in a Game 7. I remember how Houston came back against the Los Angeles Clippers, when the Clippers with Lob City, CP3, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin were about to advance to their first ever conference final, okay? And Houston came back on like a 49-9 run with Harden on the bench and guys like Dwight Howard and others on the court. So I remember all of that. And I'm not trying to act like James Harden is devoid of pressure. What I'm saying is when you are the successor to a dude that wouldn't even show up on the court, that's where everybody is looking at you like, we just happy to have you. As a guy that worked in Philadelphia for 17 years, went from a college reporter to a general sports columnist, covering it for 17 years, every lock, stock, and barrel, here's what I'm telling you. This city is about cats that show up. It's a blue-collar town, baby. You got to show up and be ready to rumble, okay? Harden's already doing that, and he's going to do that. But here's the difference between him now and him in Houston. He ain't the number one option. It's Embiid. Harden might go out there, and guess what? He might not have 30 points, but he might have 20 assists. Philadelphia is going to be cool with that. He can hit a couple of shots here and there. Philadelphia is going to be cool with that. The same level of culpability that he had in Houston doesn't necessarily exist for him in Philly. Now, he can't choke. He can't stink up the joint. We can't look at him and say, damn, you folded like a cheap tent. Where the hell were you? Because Embiid didn't have any help. But if Harden is showing up there and he's averaging 26, 28 a game, even if it's at 42 or 43% shooting, okay, and he's giving you 10 to 15 assists, I'm looking at it and we're going to look at him. We're going to look at Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid is that dude in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia specifically is going to be incredibly grateful that he just showed up. Hey, listen, I'm thinking about going down there tomorrow night. I think about going to that game. I'm contemplating showing up in the house for this one. It might be worth it. I mean, can Kyrie play that game? Is he eligible to play in Philadelphia?
Hopefully he will.
I believe he is. I want to see Kyrie Irving against James Harden. I want to see Kyrie with KD against Harden and Embiid. I might have to show up for this before I ultimately have to give my public apology to Daryl Morey.
You are making it sound like that Philadelphia is Albuquerque, New Mexico. What? There's no pressure on playing in Philadelphia?
No.
That's a northeast town that lives and breathes their sports. And if he doesn't respond and take them into a final, it's not Embiid who's going to get the abuse. It's him.
Oh, excuse me.
Come on.
He can't play like garbage. I'm not saying that. But he ain't the number one dude in Philly. That would be Embiid.
He's a guard, though. The ball's in his hands. It's going to start with him.
He can't play like garbage. That's what I'm saying. He can't play like garbage. But he doesn't have to be what he was required to be in Houston. He doesn't have to be that. Just like when he got to Brooklyn. Remember, he changed his game. He modified his game because he was supposed to be on the court.
I gave him a pass last year.
Exactly.
All right? I grant you that one.
And I'm saying that's what you're going to end up doing this year.
No, hey, come on. He's Philadelphia spot. By the way, I worked in Philly, too. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
WIP, 1987. Did you know they offered me 10 to 1 on Monday through Friday? And I didn't take it. Did you know that? That's before you.
That was before me.
That's before you.
That's 6 years before I arrived there.
You Mr. Philly. I was Mr. Philly before you were Mr. Philly.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, that's number one. Number two.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there. I didn't know.
10-8.
I didn't know it. I didn't know that. Okay.
It's not Albuquerque. He's got to take them to a championship. The expectation level in Philadelphia right now is through the roof.
It is through the roof.
You can't sit there and not get to a final.
They got them as a Wait a minute now. You definitely you're in position to fight. There's no doubt about that. But all I'm saying to you is this. If Harden goes out there and does what he's doing now, just does what he's doing now.
All right, we got to go.
It's Embiid squad.
We got to go. Stephen A., it's about getting the ball in the basket, and it's not Albuquerque, okay? Marinate on those gems we just got from Doggy here. Another year in Green Bay for that